Good afternoon, all. In today's session, we are going to continue the discussion regarding the yesterday's small topic is left out, okay, which was left out. We will continue that discussion. Yesterday, in the previous session, we completed the field expression capital E due to a sheet of charge. We considered a sheet. Let me just recall. We'll consider a sheet here. In that sheet, instead of going for sheet separately, we will divide this sheet into number of strips, and each strip is considered like a line wire, and for a line charge we have already derived the expression. And finally, for a complete sheet, we will integrate the answer for a single strip. If we integrate it for the complete, we will get the complete sheet of charge electric field. With this basic figure, point considered is on x axis, so, and the sheet considered is in yz plane. Because of that, point is in p plane, third axis plane. Because of this, only the third component of the field exists. These two gets cancelled because of the symmetry, and plus minus they gets cancelled. This discussion was here. What we did, no need to recall it. We took dx, already the derived equation we have considered. Y cos term we have taken, I have already explained you. Cos, it is here, okay. As point is on x axis, this line, this is your adjacent, okay, 90 degrees angle theta. Adjacent, this is your hypotenuse, and this is your opposite. So adjacent is cos theta, so we have to multiply by cos theta for ex. Then where is it? Cos theta. And after that, for r and cos theta, from that triangle we have substituted the values. Then we have integrate the overall integration. I had told you, you can just go through by substitution method. You will get this tan inverse of y by x. So for this, when we integrate it, we will get this as the field expression for sheet of charge. One observation we can make here, Ex is dependent on this sheet charge density, surface charge density, which is a constant. Epsilon also, for a medium, it is constant. Hence, whatever may be the distance of the point of observation from the sheet, E remains the same. And suppose that I am taking the sheet in YZ plane. So point will be in the third axis, that is Z, right? Hence, point will be in Z direction, and only the E component in X direction will exist. That is D E suffix Z will exist. Remaining two will cancel. Now, you can unmute and answer me. This is your YZ plane, okay. So if it is YZ plane, tell me which component of the field will exist. So two questions I have put. One is, for this particular figure, when the sheet is kept in YZ plane, which component of the field will exist? What is the answer? Quickly. Yeah, I got one answer. X. Yes, Tayyaba, very good. Because we are having the plane in the sheet in YZ plane, the third component, the third axis is X. Hence, X component of the field will exist. Here I have scratched it, it is X. Similarly, this is the figure given. In this, see, the sheet is kept in XZ direction. So tell me which component of the field will exist. Y. Yes, correct. So for this figure, for the second figure, EY component will exist. So this is about the previous discussion. Now we completed it. Due to the shortage of time, we could not do it. Let us start today this concept, the last concept of your first module, that is actually the title is electric flux density. Okay. Without knowing what is electric flux, you cannot define and understand electric flux density. So I started with the electric flux concept. And if you see, for every concept, I'm writing some number here. I did not write here, sorry. Here I have not written, but in my book I have written. Okay. If you see, I have written some point here. This point indicates in your textbook which chapter and which point to refer. Third chapter, first point. Okay, as a reference. Now, what is the flux? Okay, you have already studied about this flux in your physics. Probably even you have studied about Gauss law also, but still, let us start with this electric flux. In order to understand electric flux, we have to go through, we have to understand what is a Faraday's experiment. Faraday, Michael Faraday, who invented what? Faraday's laws, you know, right? What are the contributions of Faraday in this field, in the electromagnetics? You might have studied about it. Faraday, he has conducted many experiments, he has many achievements in his list. So one such experiment he did, probably you know about his experiments, is about electric flux. So what experiment he conducted, let us see. I have written what all he has conducted, the experiment that I have listed here. So let me show you. This is one experimental setup. This is the cross section. Okay, cross section. I cannot draw that three-dimensional diagram here. So I'm taking the cut cross section and showing you. This is one central sphere. One sphere. He took a sphere and he charged it. Some known amount of charge. I am showing it here by positive sign, indicating that some charge exists on the surface of the inner sphere. Okay, and say q coulombs of charge, he charged this inner sphere. Then he enclosed the sphere and he enclosed this inner sphere with one more sphere, outer sphere. If you see, it is a hemisphere. Okay, half, it is cut into two. Okay, this part is one, the other part is one. You might have asked, you can ask me, two spheres directly he can take and put one inside the other, just like the kids, they play some games. So though that kind of arrangement he could have done, but earlier that time it was very difficult. Nowadays you will get all kind of materials, all machines will be there, everything is easy to make. That time probably setting up this experiment was very difficult for him. So he did this. He took a sphere, he charged it to some known amount of charge, say plus q. He enclosed this sphere by one more sphere that is made up of two halves, two hemispheres. He joined it, and this looks like your rubber ball, which is inside, it is hollow. If you cut that rubber ball, you will get these two halves. You can put anything inside that rubber ball, hollow ball, and again you can you using some gum or glue, you can again attach both the ends, something like that. Even you can imagine this complete setup as your Kinder Joy balls inside. Okay, hollow, and it will be like a shell. So like that you can imagine this structure. So what he did is, the outer this inner sphere was charged to a known amount, and the outer sphere he connected it to the ground, and the in between these two spheres, he filled this complete gap with some dielectric material, and he um, repeated this experiment. He tried this experiment by many different, using by many dielectric materials. Okay, different dielectric materials he tried. This is the experimental setup. The same thing I have written here. Okay, he constructed a pair of concentric metallic spheres. The outer sphere consists of two hemispheres. Okay, just to join it, to put something inside and join, he cut it into two halves, hemispheres that could be clamped together. The dielectric, it will be in between the two spheres. Okay, the dielectric would occupy the entire volume between the concentric spheres. With the equipment dismantled, okay, if you remove the outer covering hemispheres, inside the inner sphere is there, and that inner sphere, it was given a known positive charge, some amount of charge. He charged that sphere. Simply, how can you charge any body? Example I had given you. If you want to charge a balloon surface, simply rub that surface to your head, okay, your hair. Some charges get accumulated on the surface of the balloon, because there are different methods of charging. One is friction among it, and a dielectric is filled in between the space. Dismantled, positive charge. The hemisphere were then clamped together. Again, the setup was completely put together, and the outer sphere, it was, here it is there, the outer sphere, it was discharged by connecting it to the ground. GND indicates ground. Then the outer sphere was separated carefully. After this is complete setup, after some time, what he did, the complete outer space, it was separated, that is outer sphere. Again, he removed this hemispheres. Okay, so what observation he made? Separated carefully without disturbing the charge in the inner sphere. You should not touch this. Only these are removed carefully, and then he manipulated what is the charge on the outer sphere. This was his observation. Okay, so what he observed is the complete these two hemispheres, the outer surface of this, they were accumulated by all negative charges, say minus q coulombs. Inner surface, inner sphere's surface, he charged to positive q, and he observed that after connecting, after having a setup like this, and on the outer sphere, if the outer sphere was grounded, he observed that these two charges were equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. This was his observation that I have written here. So Faraday's experimental setup. Observation: the total charge on the outer sphere, okay, when he measured it, it was equal in magnitude with the original charge of the inner sphere. If it was plus q, the outside was minus q. Okay, and this was true irrespective of any of the dielectric material kept in between. So he tried this experiment. He repeated this with by using different dielectric materials, and he observed that this phenomenon happened. If the charge is say plus 8 coulombs on the inside sphere, outside sphere he got minus 8 coulombs. So for every of the dielectric material, this phenomenon continued to happen. So there was some kind of displacement. What is displacement? Changing its position, okay, from one place to the other. There was a displacement from inner to outer sphere, which was independent of the medium. Medium here used is any dielectric medium, and whatever medium it may be, the phenomenon was same. So he named this as electric flux, or sometimes it is called displacement flux. So I think you have studied about electric flux. Flux are nothing but the lines of the force, lines of force, okay, the field lines which pass through certain area, that is called the flux. Okay, a large positive charge on the inner sphere, it will induce correspondingly similar kind of negative charge on the outer sphere. This was his observation. And there exists a direct proportionality between the flux and the charge on the inner sphere. Okay, so this was his experiment. He finally concluded that the charge, whatever inside the for the inner sphere, whatever charge he put, that is directly proportional to this psi. It is called the electric flux. In many textbooks, the notation used, it may be different. It is like phi, but don't get confused. In many textbooks, it is used in this way. In your prescribed textbook, it is taken as a psi symbol. It is indicating electric flux. Now, if I simply remove this proportionality sign and put a equal sign, there will be a proportionality constant K here, K into psi. However, in SI units, the value of this constant is 1. Okay, so Q is equal to psi. So as the charge Q is in coulombs, even psi will also be in coulombs. Okay, this is the experimental setup and observation of Faraday, Michael Faraday. This is the background regarding the electric flux density. You should know what is an electric flux. Then you can study the electric flux density. The same setup here I can show you in a generalized way. Two spheres are there. This is inside sphere whose radius is r is equal to small a. I hope it is visible, not blurred. And the inner sphere is plus q charged. This is your outer hemispheres, his experiment. This radius is b, small b. Inside it is small a, outside it is b. And in between you can see some shade is there indicating some dielectric material. And his observation, inside if you put plus q charge, there is a displacement. This charge comes on the outer surface with the equal in magnitude opposite in direction. This was the experimental setup generalized. And you can observe here, there are lines, field lines coming out, okay, coming out from the inner sphere, and they are going towards the outer sphere. Okay, what does that mean? You know the conventions used. Whenever there is a positive charge, whether the lines will converge or diverge. I think for positive charge, they will diverge. That's what is being shown here. They are diverging. And if it is a negative sign, conventions say that they converge. So negative side is here, indicating it is going towards. There, if it is a reaching point, it is coming into it, right? So according to the conventions also, the directions are correct. So these are the field lines, and these lines all together we call it flux, electric flux or displacement flux. Consider an inner sphere, the same thing. This diagram I have explained it here. Consider an inner sphere of radius a and outer sphere of radius b with charges plus q and minus q. Now the paths of the electric flux psi, they are shown here. These lines, okay, they have been shown here. They are extending from inner sphere to the outer sphere as indicated by a symmetrically distributed lines drawn radially from the one sphere to the other sphere. So radially outwards they are going, okay, radially. Why it is radial? It is not in single direction, okay, radially. According to its radius, they are moving in across all over. So that is radially outwards. Now, at the surface of the inner sphere, some charge q coulombs it is having. The inner sphere is having a charge of q coulombs, okay, and it will get distributed uniformly over the sphere, and this charge will come on the outer sphere, right? And as we are considering spheres, okay, three-dimensional balls, what is the surface area of the sphere? If you consider inside sphere, the radius is small a, it is 4 pi r square, 4 pi a square, area for inner sphere. So how will you define density? Density is what you have already studied, charge density, that is linear surface and volume. So here, as we are talking about the area of the sphere, surface charge density, let us consider. So what will be the density of the flux? Okay, the flux is nothing but the number of charges. So what is the density over the surface? We call that capital D. So capital D is the charge accumulated, that is psi, which is equal to Q according to Faraday, psi divided by the area of the sphere, 4 pi a square. This is capital D. D is the flux density. As a note, I have given here, actually this figure is incomplete. Pardon me, I forgot to complete this. I'll show this, how and how this works. The total number of electric field lines passing through an area, the total number of field lines are called the flux. Remember this. Electric flux means number of field lines. Okay. And these field lines, as per the convention, they originate from the positive charge and they terminate on the negative charge. This is as per the convention. The same thing you have even observed here also in the lines. Now, let us see, this flux depends on what all different parameters. If consider this is some surface, maybe having some area S, and some amount of field is passing through it. The lines are passing through this area, say field is E. So according to this, the flux depends on E. Okay, they are directly related. If your electric field is more, flux is more lines will be there, more field will be there. And if this area is more, okay, if you take a bigger area like this, if you take bigger areas, more number of lines will pass, right? So the flux is also dependent on the area. And one more thing, if you take suppose if this is your sheet, here only I'll show you. If this is your sheet and these are the lines, okay, if you observe, the area and the lines are perpendicular to each other. Okay, under this situation we will get the maximum flux. This is one condition. If I just reverse this case, what I will do, these are the electric field lines, okay, the flux lines passing through an area, and area, what I'll do, I will keep like this, horizontal. In this first case, the area kept was vertical, 90 degrees difference. In this case, we get maximum flux and maximum field. But however, if you just keep rotate this area to this direction, so that these field lines and the area becomes parallel, okay, they coincide. If you observe, see, number of lines that are passing through this area is limited, only few lines will pass, not much. Actually, it is actually to the minimum. So this is the observation. If area and the field, they are perpendicular, maximum flux, and if they are parallel, the flux will be zero. This is possible at 90 degrees, it is maximum, and it is here, it is parallel, it is zero. This is possible with the cos theta angle. Okay, so there are three observations. Flux depends on the field, flux depends on the surface area, flux depends on the cos theta. So if you club all these three together, I will write E into S into cos theta. And if you simply equate it, okay, by remove the proportionality sign, make it equal, some constant k will come. In SI units, let us take it as 1, and psi is equal to, what is Es cos theta? It is nothing but your dot product. Okay, dot product E and S, E dot S. Okay, and dot product, we get a scalar value, right? Dot product of any two vectors is a scalar quantity, because of which the flux, we conclude that it is a scalar quantity. Now, I will just continue this discussion. whatever D value we kept it because of this figure round. Okay, let's continue that. Electric flux density D for inner sphere it is small a, that's what I have written here with the straight line vertical. R is equal to A, put it, the equation will be like this. Now suppose I want the flux density at the outer sphere, how much value it is. Just put the radius as B. So Q by 4 pi R square in general, R may be either small a or small b. In general, I have written here D equals to Q divided by 4 pi R square into AR. R is some radial distance, and that R, it can be any value here. Either it can be A and it can be here, it can be here, or it can be the total outside sphere. Okay, so till this we studied. Now let's see something about the flux density. We have already seen the density. It is with respect to either linear charge, surface charge, or volume charge. We have seen this already, the three different densities. And there were two observations according to the Faraday's experiment. We consider the density with respect to certain area, surface area, because we are using the spheres and surfaces matter a lot for us. So according to the Faraday's experiment, because we want a density calculations, for density calculation, let us consider out of three quantities, we are interested in S. And as we are using the spheres as the material, the surface area S is 4 pi R square, surface area of the sphere. And according to the Faraday's experiment, the displacement flux Q is equal to psi. With these observations, so electric flux density is Q divided by 4 pi R square. That's what I have just now written here, the same thing, but associated with a unit vector. This is about electric flux density. How will you define electric flux density? It is actually given by the number of lines that are crossing, that is Q, number of charges, number of lines, flux lines, that is psi, Q equal to psi. Number of flux lines that are crossing certain surface area, and the area being normal to the lines. Area should be perpendicular to the lines. That's what I said. The area should be perpendicular, then only you'll get the maximum flux out of it. Area being perpendicular to the lines, something like this, the setup. This is your area and the field lines are coming like this, flux lines. So area and the lines are perpendicular to each other. Now this is about the electric flux and the electric flux density. As a note, these whatever next three concepts are there, smaller short concepts are there, they may be helpful for you during problems. So I'm dealing these. Relation between D and E. Probably you know this already. D and E. If we have a charge Q, assume we are having some charge Q, okay, and some imaginary sphere you draw around it. Okay, ball ले लो आप, ball में center में charge Q रख दो. Okay, imagine. So on the surface at some point here, say this is your point P, at which you want electric field intensity and आपको इस structure का flux density calculate करना है. This is the condition. Ball में center में आप charge Q रखे हो, on the surface at some point we want these values, electric field intensity and electric flux density. Okay, if we want that, we know that electric field intensity E, according to the definition, this was the second concept after experimental law of Coulomb. We started this module with the Coulomb's law, experimental setup, equation for force. Then we went for E expression. That E expression we have already derived. E is equal to this. That's what it was actually F by Q. Qt actually, Qt was the test charge equated to 1. So E is equal to F at Q equal to 1. We have already seen this. So E is this equation, and flux density, just now we have seen. What is flux density? It is charges or the flux passing through the area of the sphere, Q by 4 pi r square. If you see, I have written both the equations. Try to compare the equations. You can compare or you can take the ratio. You will get the relation. I am taking the ratio. You can take 2 by 1 or 1 by 2. Doesn't matter. I have taken 1:2. 1 by 2. E by D will be equal to, some values gets cancelled. Q 4 pi r square. Here epsilon naught will remain, and please don't cancel the unit vectors. They will not cancel. Both when unit vectors are same means direction of both is same. Okay, don't cancel them. So this is equal to 1 by epsilon naught, or this is the relation, D equal to epsilon naught into E. And they both have same direction because both are having AR as the unit vectors. This is first relationship. This is helpful while solving the problems. Second, relation between D and surface charge density, rho s. If rho s is the surface charge density, and again suppose you're having a ball, inside that ball, right, you put a charge Q on the surface. See, this ball's radius is r. On some surface at point P, you want the field intensity E and flux density D. If this is the setup, then we know that surface charge density is given by charge divided by the surface area. Charge divided by area of the sphere. I have considered a ball. So Q by 4 pi r square. Just compare this with the flux density. It is also Q by 4 pi r square, but it is having certain unit vector. So it has certain direction, but here you are not having any direction. That's the difference between those two. That's why how I can write, if you compare both these values, both are this rho s and D, both are equal in magnitude. Okay, I am not talking about the direction. I'm just writing magnitude. Excluding that direction AR, both are equal, or D equals to epsilon naught into E. Just now we derived. So epsilon naught into E is equal to rho s. But magnitudes, not direction. And the third one, relation between D and rho V. That is, just now we saw rho s. Let's see what is rho V. This is also one equation we derived in the previous section. While dealing with the continuous charge distribution, we started with volume charge, then we went for line charge, then we derived a sheet charge. First one was volume charge. So that equation is this, E equals to integration over a volume rho v dv divided by r square 4 pi epsilon naught into AR. This equation is already with us. Now, according to the relation between D and this E, we have this D equals to epsilon naught into E. So substitute D is equal to epsilon naught into E. E is this. Substitute, only epsilon naught will get cancelled. D equals to rho v into this. We have E already. We know this relationship. Substitute for this epsilon naught into E. E value here, you will get D value. Electric flux density or displacement flux density. These are the relations between three different parameters. Okay, let us just see. What is the first parameter? It is the relation between D and E, which is D equals to epsilon naught into E. First relation. And for all these three, we have considered this figure. There is a center charge Q placed in a sphere. Okay, एक ball में center पे charge Q रखे हैं. It is having certain radius. Ball का radius R है. And surface पे कुछ एक point P है जहाँ पे आपको E and D calculate करना है. Field and electric flux density calculate करना है. Then we saw D and rho s relationship. You can observe both are equal in magnitude, but see, you are having D. It is a vector quantity, so it is having unit vector additional. So only they are equal in magnitude. This is the second relation. Third one, relation between D and rho v. E value in terms of rho v already we have derived. Just substitute the relation between D and E, you will get D in terms of rho v. These are the three relations. So in today's session, we have seen about the concept of electric flux. Important concept. Faraday's experiment, how he experimented with two spheres. He conducted an experiment, inner sphere, he charged with the positive known charge. He observed that outer sphere, if he just equated to ground, he connected it to the ground, he connected the outer sphere to the ground, he observed that this whatever charge is there, the same amount of charge exists on the outer sphere, equal in magnitude. Okay? Direction is opposite. So this we call it electric flux. Flux is nothing but the number of lines passing. They are called field lines passing. They are called the flux. Psi is equal to Q. And then we have seen what is electric flux density. We define electric flux density as the number of field lines or the flux passing through an area, surface area, and the area is kept perpendicular to the flow of the lines. So the direction is perpendicular. Both are perpendicular to each other. This is about electric flux density. As a note, we have seen this E dot S, psi is equal to E dot S. Important value. This may be useful in our next concept, second module. Okay, this is it. So in today's discussion, we have seen the electric flux and flux density and three important relations: relation between D and E, relation between D and rho S, relation between D and rho V. Simple theoretical concepts with some equations. With this, we completed first module. All the theoretical part is over now. So if you have any doubts, please you can ask me. Any doubts? You can ask for doubts. With this, we completed first module. Okay, people started leaving.